And honestly, I don't know how anybody's going to be paying for this stuff, because a new report came out saying that 60% of US workers do not have a quality job right now that provides basic financial well-being, safety, and other factors, according to new Gallup research. Researchers are defining a quality job as one that meets the minimum thresholds across 3 out of 5 dimensions. They're looking at financial well-being, such as fair pay that meets their basic needs to reduce financial stress, workplace culture and safety, as in a safe and respectable environment free of harassment, growth and development opportunities where workers have a clear path to build skills and gain experience to advance in their career, agency and voice, where workers have decision-making power in their working conditions like pay and use of technology, and work structure and autonomy, where workers have a stable, predictable schedule and control over when and how their work gets done. That one's a little bit questionable, because kind of the whole idea of a job is you don't get to say so on that. But more and more people are demanding it. People got spoiled during the pandemic once again, just like the subsidies for healthcare. People got used to the work from home nonsense and thought that everybody was going to be able to continue doing that forever. And I'm not saying, when I say nonsense, I don't mean that working from home is bad or having a remote job is bad. I'm just saying that there are some jobs that just are not cut out to be remote, and some companies literally do a lot better when people come into the office, and that is worth something. You know, businesses need to be run the way that they need to be run. And if it means people need to come into work, well, that's what it means. The industries that are most likely to have a high quality job are professional services jobs and financial activities and wholesale trade. And the workers that are less likely to have quality jobs are the ones who are in leisure and hospitality, retail, and warehousing. And a lot of businesses tend to focus on pay alone, but just focusing on the salary doesn't account for all the other ways a job can impact an employee's well-being. And as somebody looking for a job, you should be thinking about those things as well. But it is tempting to go for the highest paying option at a time when all these expenses are being blown out of proportion. So it's a tough call. And one of the biggest examples of problem areas for workers in 2025 is having control of their work schedules. And in fact, the Gallup data shows that non-W-2 workers were more likely to hold a quality job than those with W-2 jobs, whether it's full-time or part-time. And at first you might think it's a little counterintuitive, because independent contractors don't have as much financial stability or access to benefits or even regular hours like salaried employees, but what you do have is freedom. For example, when I was only doing real estate, even when I was making just 30 grand a year, you know, poverty wages essentially, especially in Miami back then, you know, the 30 grand a year was enough to get by and pay the bills. But the best part about the job was that I was free. You know, I was free to an extent to make my own hours and my own schedule. If I didn't want to work that day, I didn't have to. I might miss out on some business if I chose not to, but it was my choice, right? And you make those choices accordingly when you work for yourself as an independent contractor. And not that it's a big surprise, but younger workers are the least likely to be having a quality job. And only 29% of workers today say that they are just getting by or finding it difficult to get by in 2025. But I think this represents an opportunity for small business owners out there, especially, who can be flexible with their employees. Like, you know, really understanding what's important to your employees. You might be able to actually get away with lower pay, but if you have a more flexible work schedule and kind of let people make their own hours, then that can actually be a huge benefit for somebody working there, and can mean the difference of retaining that employee, because turnover costs money for an employer, just like turnover costs money for a landlord. And then you have training and things like that, inconsistencies on the job that can be costly as well if people don't know what they're doing. So I always say you should use these things as an opportunity. If you're an employer, offer more favorable work conditions for your employees and make sure people are more satisfied with their work conditions, and they'll be more loyal. They'll be more likely to stick around and even be likely to work the same job for slightly less pay than a company not offering that. If you're an employee, you need to make the decision. What's important to you most? Is it just doing the job that pays the absolute most regardless of how miserable you are? Or is your health and well-being more important than the extra $1.50 an hour? You know, you got to make that choice. Nobody can make that choice for you. But I think that's why a lot of people are turning towards gig work and, you know, just doing things on their own, guys, because even though you don't have the benefits and you don't have the consistent pay, you know, having that freedom is worth something. I can vouch for that 100%. If it were me looking for a job, I would be in the same boat. I'd be much more concerned about having some level of autonomy and freedom rather than just getting the job that pays the absolute most. But that's me. So let me know what you guys think about all this stuff. Let me know how much your car insurance and health insurance bill is projected to go up in 2026 down in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you are subscribed to this channel and my new clips channel. And if you don't want to wait for my next video to come out, check out this one on the screen right over here, and I'll see you in the next one.